Good morning, friends. Power's out. Which didn't worry me until a friend was like, "Oh, how are you gonna milk the cows?" Yeah, about that. You found a beautiful flower?
Yeah, it's for you.
Oh, thank you.
I picked it right there.
I love it. So I came to check. Marius wanted to see if the garden needs to be watered. Potatoes are starting to die back here, but I think it needs to be watered. It's pretty dry. And then I needed to check if any cabbages were splitting and need to be picked. There's some broccoli I need to pick. Wow. Lots of broccoli I need to pick. And that cabbage split, I need to pick it. Looks like I have more sauerkraut to make. Don't know if I can get through this. Let's see. Green beans to pick. Not quite. They can wait. Oh, maybe there is. Maybe there is. Yeah, there's green beans to pick. Oh, I see another cabbage that split. That one split. Okay, I got sauerkraut to make. Oh, and that's starting to go purple. It needs to be picked. Oh, it's amazing how your to-do list can grow with a simple walk to the garden. Oh boy. The peas are almost done. The plants are just dying back. They're not happy this year. I do need to pick a bunch of onions for canning. Some nice sized ones. They're not done growing, but I'm not gonna buy onions when I have this many in here. So we'll just pick the biggest ones and... Oh, how do I get out of this one? There we go. Okay, Rowan, should we go tell Dad the garden needs to be watered? Are you eating peas? Never mind. I decided if I'm babysitting the canner, I'm gonna work on making sauerkraut. So, kids are finishing up prepping some quarts of green beans for canning, and I grabbed a box. And I'm going to pick, because I can't blanch. I could just pick the broccoli and such and deal with that tomorrow. But I'm gonna get the cabbages. And I'm gonna work on fermenting those. I haven't showed you this year how Marius waters the garden. So we have a pond down there, and we have a bunch of fire hose, and he goes for it. Also, the goats are making a little dent in here. That's nice. If I get too close, he might spray me. Just kidding, he wouldn't do that. Takes him about half an hour to hose the garden down good. In charge of that one, and I'm in charge of the kitchen garden and the greenhouse. So I just was reassembling the milking machine because I was deep cleaning it inside, which is where you soak it in vinegar and water. So just reassembled it because we have a relief milker tonight, and she didn't need to worry about that. The Tour de France, I'm giving you the Tour de Ferments. Marius is making fermented mushrooms. They start with dried mushrooms. I am skeptical and not touching those. These two jars are sweet pepper salsa, so they're bell peppers, jalapenos, onions, garlic, and salt. So it's like a salsa base, because when you add tomatoes to fermented salsa, it doesn't keep, but this keeps really well. So you can eat it just as is, or you can stir in fresh tomatoes, or maybe even some nice diced canned tomatoes. These are dried hot peppers that he had done, that he's rehydrating and making hot sauce. I don't know what he's doing. This is peach with a couple hot pepper mead, which is like honey wine, honey cider. Currently babysitting 2 canners of green beans. Okay, then over here we have 1 half gallon and 2 gallons of this peas, carrots, etc. This is cabbage and golden beet and curry. And then there's 2 jars. This is a 3-quart and this is a 2-quart of dilly beans. So lots of fun things. You like raw green beans?
A lot better than canned.
So we have 2 canterlows of diced tomatoes while the kids and I were at the fair. Marius prepped 14 quarts exactly worth a can of tomatoes. We have various diced mixed with peppers, sauce, and then green beans. We have various tomatoes diced, some with peppers, some sauce, green beans, all the things. I did have 2 more gallon bags of green beans from yesterday to can. And then I was asking kids where they got put because I asked them to put in the fridge. They got put in the freezer. So they're frozen green beans now. So I guess bonus, I don't have to can them. We actually like canned better than frozen, which is weird because most other things we like frozen over canned, but there you go. So first my plan was just to wait until the power came back on because it said is estimated about 10 a.m. it was going to come back on. So that would only be milking like not super late, but definitely late. And then I decided that I was just going to come and milk. So the boys are going to milk Clover, they're getting her, and I'm going to milk Jessa. Jessa had patience issues before machine milking, so that's what I'm worried about with her. So the power company, there's like an outage map and it says like reason for the power outage and such, and it says it's a planned power outage for equipment fixes. And when there's planned power outages, they like give you a lot of warning. Like they email, they call, like there's a lot of warning. There was no warning. So I texted a friend who has a dairy and I was like, sure, fun to milk when there's no power, but he has robot dairy. And I was like, yeah, cool that it was a planned power outage, but they didn't tell anybody. And he was like, no, when the power went off, so his robots start yelling at him. He gets like phone calls and texts because he's got to switch over to generator. Robot starts yelling at him. He checks the reason for power outage. It just said the power's out. It wasn't until later that they changed it to say it's a planned power outage. So, you ready to milk Clover?
Another, how? How are you gonna get on the other side of that?
Oh, she'll come over this way, but lucky boys have nice big teats to milk on Clover. Maybe Freya. Whereas I got this tiny little one. Can't even hardly see it. These front ones are nicer. It's gonna take a while. So I was milking and she licked my sweater and I was like, how did she get me? And I realized that I didn't even have her locked in. She was just standing there. There you go. Well, I guess she's not that bad. I do have the kick bar on her because she lacks patience and she'll start kicking this foot. I'm getting some foam on the top of the bucket, so I'm not the slowest milker ever.
Well, there's hardly any foam in here. Hardly any milk coming in. This is the ultimate white goat and went into Halo.
And Mama, I'm probably not going to be there.
over 2 gallons. I think she is holding back a bit. Just stripping out the last. This back one goes forever and ever.
Yeah, Mom, did you notice that
How's it going over there, boys?
Good.
They did get 1 kick, but the cows are used to a very short milking time of milking machine right now. So.
It was a shift.
Oh, it was just a shift, not a kick? Okay.
Amos was just complaining because when she
Hey, Freya,
shifted,
you want to go
then
get
he
their
goes
grain?
and hit his pen.
Yeah, 69J is Jose. Because I kept saying, hey, Jose. And who's that in there? Oh, and Mabel.
Why Jose? You don't want to name
Yeah,
it after some,
oh, no, that's Rosemary. And yes, she lost her ward.
you didn't want to name it after some meat?
I don't know. I named them Jose and I don't know. Because I just kept saying, hey, Jose.
So who's the other one? That one.
One of Amos is just like doing by one of them and it's just terrified.
Oh, Mom, I want to bring this one down and this one down.
Oh, you be nice to Muncie. You can guess. You can tell why this one is Gollum. Look at his eyes.
He's growing into his eyes.
Yeah.
The very best marinara sauce is one, it's if you Google Reformation Acres marinara sauce, it's the very best. You don't have to use paste tomatoes, you can use any. I need a basket. Why am I coming out here without a basket? So it has carrots in it. You throw everything in the slow cooker overnight, and then in the morning you blend it. And then you can it or freeze it. Carrots thicken it and sweeten it, and it's just amazing, and it's so easy, and that's what we're about to make a bunch of. I've got my carrots, onion, and garlic ready. Now I just need to go wash them so we can put them in the crock pots. I'm gonna take a quick peek in the greenhouse to see if there's any more pickling cucumbers. Also, I hope I don't just find a bunch more work and regret coming in here. I just can't believe how large these have gotten. Ginormous. This green bean variety is just starting to come on. I think these were Jade. Then over here, these were Provider, and oh, they're still pretty tiny too. Let's see if we can find some cukes. To like hunt. I find I have to like look up. So in each one, we have carrots, onion, garlic, bell peppers, jalapeno peppers, a beef bone, basil, oregano, salt, pepper, and then we're topping them up with tomatoes, and they're going to slow cook overnight. Then we'll take out the beef bone, puree the sauce, and pressure can it. I made some basil feta that's about to get salted. It hung. Those little holes, those are just mechanical, which means it didn't get pressed hard enough, although I hung it, or I overcooked the curds. Mechanical just means it's in the process and how you made it. So I'm actually doing it in a bucket. I'm gonna do a brine, and it'll sit on the counter for a couple days, and then it'll move to the fridge. That feeling when you thought you jumped over the electric fence good enough, but you really got your thigh. Okay, goat, why do you not want to come in for milking? This is ridiculous. Freya can't get this goat in. Come on, Hazel. Oh, I know, and she picked the worst place to be. Come on.
Go, go. Come on.
Whew. Looks like we're just about done here. Made it back just in time. So, if you're wondering why I didn't have a Saturday video last week, it's because I accidentally scheduled both the videos to be published on a Wednesday, and then I went away Wednesday, Thursday, and didn't realize that I'd done that until like Wednesday night. So that was really smart of me.
Sick of the thought.
Are you hungry?